Hey folks, I'm here again to discuss kneeling since a lot of people are doing that during these times, during the Black Lives Matter movement, all of that. So this is just gonna be a brief one. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. Where's my screen? I'm gonna give y'all a brief history or overview. This is Wikipedia. Might do a part two. We'll see. Don't really care. Genuflection, right? Okay. Genuflection genuflection is the act of bending a knee to the ground as distinguished from kneeling, which more strictly involves both knees. From earlier times, it has been a gesture of deep respect for a superior. Today, the gesture is common in the Christian religious practices of the Anglican Church, Lutheran Church, Roman Catholic Church, and Western Rite Orthodox Church. The Latin word genuflectio, from which the English word is derived, originally meant kneeling with both knees rather than the rapid dropping to one knee and immediately rising that became customary in Western Europe in the Middle Ages. It is often referred to as going down on one knee or bowing the knee. In Western culture, one genuflects on the left knee to human dignitary, whether uh, uh, ecclesiastical, that's the word, ecclesiastical or civil. Well, in Christian churches and chapels, one genuflects on the right knee when the sacrament is not exposed, but in a tabernacle or veiled. Uh, conversely, one kneels. Conversely, one kneels with both knees if the sacrament is exposed. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna click on this kneeling. So yeah, that's where that came from, genuflection right there. Well, we have history. We'll just go over a brief little history of this. In 328 BC, Alexander the Great introduced into his court etiquette some form of genuflection already in use in Persia, a modification to the tradition of proskynesis in the Byzantine Empire. Even senators were required to genuflect to the emperor. In medieval Europe, one demonstrated respect for a king or noble by going down on the left knee, often remaining there until told to rise. It is traditionally often performed in Western cultures by a man making a proposal of marriage. This is done on the left knee. The custom genuflecting as a the custom of genuflecting as a sign of respect and even of service arose out of the honor given to medieval kings. In modern times, when the folded flag of a fallen veteran is often to the family, the presenting officer will go down on his left knee if the recipient is seated. Okay. And y'all could look up, all of this dealing with the kneeling as far as on Wikipedia, genuflection. That's what they're calling this. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure somebody would correct me if I am. So let's go to Nancy. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Pelosi. Hey, black people kneeling. Hey, white people kneeling. Hey, white guy standing. Hey. So I'm not a kneeler, by the way. It's not what I do. Because when I look at kneeling, I see kneeling as a form of submission. That you're submitting to an, an authority. As they said it in the other on the Wikipedia page, it's also attributed to kneeling before a king or a higher authority. So I'm wondering, what higher authority are they kneeling to? Are they kneeling? So I was thinking, like, are these people kneeling for? Let me back up. Originally, you had Kaepernick, who decided to kneel, and not really sure if that's what he really wanted to do, and that's what this turned out to. But he was kneeling on behalf of shining light on police brutality, and he was doing this in the league. And I found it strange, like that's a cool gesture, but I'm not necessarily sure if his kneeling is what these people are doing. Because I feel like society, especially in the upper echelons, they do things symbolically. They have certain shots, they do certain movements. It's all symbolic. Even the bending of the right knee to the ground, all of it is symbolic. I need to do some research on which by bending on which knee, what does it symbolize? You have a sister right here, she's bended on both knees. She's on both knees. And this man right here looks like he's not kneeling at all. He's the only one standing. But also, talking about kneeling before a higher authority, I want you to see this gold black character right here. You see him right here? Who are they kneeling in the presence of? Because at first I was thinking they were kneeling just on behalf of Black people, and we're just like, that's one layer. But who is this character back here? Who is all three of these statues, these Black statues right here? This character seems to be King Kamehameha, which, prior to me turning on this video, I think I came across King Kamehameha in the Hidden Colors docuseries. I think that brother was a melanated brother out in Hawaii. So I'm wondering, I'm giving this a stretch, if they're kneeling on behalf of this specific king, because you kneel before kings. You kneel before kings. And there's rumors that the Queen of England has abandoned her throne. Her security, the ones in the red and the big old hats, no longer there. It's a different security. The Buckingham Palace is boarded up, and the seal is missing. It's been missing for a minute. So there's something going on with at least the royalty out there in Europe too. Remember, one of the videos I was talking about the crown, how all of this energy surrounding coronavirus deals with crown, because corona in Latin is crown. Remember, corona in Latin is crown. And when we was doing when I was talking to the homie on the podcast, we were discussing, we looked up corona in Latin, and also shows us, it showed us the solar eclipse, because, corona also deals with the light around the sun and the crown. So I'm like, we're going to have an eclipse on June 20th or June 21st, 2020, coming up in like a week or two. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. So going into the crown heads, Brexit happened. And when you leave a union such as a European Union, I would presume that you're leaving certain allies behind. And it's real strange because that happened in January. Brexit, that's when I think the British folks left the European Union. The same time, Meghan Markle and Harry come to California, give up their titles. They publicly gave up their titles. So what else is going on with that so-called royal family? But anywho, speaking of kneeling before crowns, this character right here, King Kamehameha, I think the first. So I'm gonna do some more research and get back to y'all on King Kamehameha because I've came across him a couple of times. Nothing is by chance. When you're taking pictures like this and you're into politics, you know it's telling. Then you have the cops; they're kneeling. I don't know why they're kneeling either. Are they kneeling in ode to Black Lives Matter, an ode to shining light on police corruption? Is that why they're kneeling? Why are they kneeling? When I First of all, I thought it was ironic that you had Kaepernick who was kneeling to shine light or allegedly shining light on police brutality amongst Black and brown people. But then you have a cop, a so-called cop, in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, in the month of May, kill a twin by standing or kneeling on the brother's neck. Isn't it ironic? That's how he died, and this is what everybody's doing right now. So I feel a way about the so-called police people taking a kneel, because are they standing in solidarity with us, or are they standing in solidarity with their cop friends who are kneeling? So, be mindful of that, because, yeah, they may be kneeling, but this is a theatrical. All of it. All of it is theatrics, because they know there's going to be cameras everywhere. Look at the movie Glass with Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mr. Glass. I forgot his name. His other name in the movie, I think his other name was Ezekiel or Elijah. I think it was Elijah. So be mindful of, watch that movie, and they go over, they know there was going to be cameras there, and they started to live stream certain things to the world. That's a movie I recommend watching. It came out 2019, I believe, January of last year. It's called Mr. Glass. The brother was wearing purple, calling on that royal energy, that crown energy. He ended up dying in the end. The guy in purple ended up dying at the end. Yeah, I hope I didn't spoil that for you. It's 2020. Get on your media game. But when you think of Glass, you think of transparency. In 2020, when you think of 2020, you think of clarity, because when you have 2020 vision, you're clear. So you would think that this year is all about clarity or seeing through illusion. So just be mindful of these cats kneeling, and you people too. And this is just my opinion on this about Black folks kneeling. It looks submissive. You're kneeling before, like, I've seen pictures of people kneeling before the police. What? That shit looks ridiculous to me. I understand you want to be with the movement. You want to honor your families and those families that were brutalized by police brutality. But you sitting here making statements like that and gestures like that in front of the cops, you look like you're submitting to the police by kneeling before them. I understand, like, y'all have like, there may be a psychology that goes into kneeling that y'all got from the Kaepernick movement, but what it looks like is a whole different thing. The looks of it looks like a whole different thing. So are they kneeling on behalf of us? Are they kneeling on behalf of their brethren? Or is there a new king in town? Is there a new king in town? Is there some new royalty that's about to be rising up? Because this whole thing deals with the crown. So now we have crown energy dealing with corona, but people kneeling. Are you kneeling before the crown? What crown? Hmm? 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 Things that make you go, hmm. So, thank y'all for listening. And yeah, this is it for me. I'll get back to y'all with some more talking points. Send questions if for things you want to hear. You want to hear some of my folks talk about. We're gonna have more people on the show as well. So peace and blessings. Have a good night.